Rumi's work, which aptly suitably context of the educational environment, Rumi says, angel is free because of his knowledge, the beast because of his ignorance. Between the two remains the Son of Man to struggle. And if you children, if you people, if you are in the Sri Siddhaganga Mat, and you are a blessed human beings, that's what God wanted. Next. Now what is the God's mission, Almighty's mission? Almighty integrate the man and the Satan. God said, "Oh humanity, I am giving you a mission," and he gave the following message. I have created the human being with brain and thinking faculty. I command all my creation that use your faculty with reasoning to reach my image. So all of us who are here, assembled here in the presence of Mahaswamiji, Sivakumar Swamiji, this is the message God is given to all of us, and all, I am sure you will all follow this message. Next. Now finally I will say that Next. Now, radiating message from Siddhaganga Mat. What is the message? The message is, you are seeing in front of all of you a sage wearing beautiful spiritual blessings. The sage, what you are seeing. Every day, Almighty has given this sage a precious diamond of life, The sage, the strung over 36,000 diamonds, that is nearly 100 years. The sage strung over 36,000 diamonds into a priceless garland of Tapasvi life. With the message of humanity, what the message of humanity our Sivakumar Swamiji gives for all of us? The message he gives, "Oh my fellow citizen," this is what he says, Sivakumarji says, "Oh fellow citizen, in giving you receive happiness in body and soul. You have everything to give." He says, every one of us, you have everything to give. If you have knowledge, to share it. If you have resources, share it with the needy. Use your mind and heart to remove the pain of the suffering and cheer the sad hearts. And in giving, you receive happiness. Almighty will bless all of your action. This is the message from this famous Sri Siddhaganga Mat we are getting. With these words, I inaugurate the 100th birthday celebration of our respected Guruji, His Holiness Sri Sivakumara Swamiji. My best wishes for success in all your missions. May God bless you all, friends.
Dr. Sri Shivakumara Swamiji, Sri Shivaratri Deshi Kendra Swamiji, Dr. Devi Singh Ji Shekhawat Sahab, Sri Rameshwar Thakur, Governor of Karnataka, Dr. B.S. Yedurappa, CM Karnataka, Sri Mallikarjun Kharge Ji, Sri Siddhalinga Suturmat, Dr. Justice V.S. Malimadji, Dr. Justice Shivraj B. Patil, former Justice Supreme Court, Sri V. Somanna, Executive President Reception Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sri Shivakumara ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗಳ ಶತಮಾನೋತ್ಸವ ಸಮಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಲು ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೇರಿದಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಕ್ತರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. I am happy to be here in Tumkur and to have the opportunity to meet Dr. Shri Shivkumara Swamiji, who has completed 100 years and spent his entire life in the service of mankind. He has been able to work so dedicatedly because of his strong adherence to self-discipline and his unwavering faith in humanity. He continues to remain sharp and agile and still follows a rigorous work schedule. Swamiji is a living illustration of the ancient philosophy of India, where work is considered to be worship. He has been working ceaselessly for the upliftment of the people, particularly the rural people and the downtrodden. Performing all the work with his motivation is the need of the nation. If everybody does their work with dedication and to the best of their ability, it would result in increased efficiency and better productivity, as also in a better social environment. Whether it is a student or teacher, doctor or engineer or scientist or officials, or those who are working in the fields, factories or running their own enterprises, if all were to work devotedly, what a difference would it make? Swamiji has correctly said that work is the prayer for the welfare of the world. I would call on all of you to make this a rule while going about your daily activities. It is said in Vedas that Vidyadan and Annadan are admirable acts. Annadanam Paramdanam, Vidyadanam Atiparam. Knowledge removes ignorance and food banishes hunger, thus enriching a human being. Knowledge gives the ability to understand the purpose of life, and food gives the physical nourishment necessary to work towards that purpose. In fact, the basic objective of the UN Millennium Development Goals adopted by all countries is to remove widespread hunger and ignorance that is prevalent in the world. Work undertaken by the Siddhaganga Mutt is an important contribution in the fight to free people from the scourge of poverty and hunger and to make their lives better through education. I am informed that Sri Siddhaganga Education Society, established more than 45 years ago, is today running 130 educational institutions. In the Gurukula, 8,000 students, mostly hailing from rural areas and coming from diverse communities, are provided free education, food and shelter. In the Sanskrit Institute, Sanskrit is taught up to the post-graduation level, making it one of the few such institutions in the country. Besides, there are institutes of technology, industrial training, business management, and also colleges of pharmacy, nursing, and education. Thus, education is imparted in a range of disciplines covering not only ancient studies but contemporary subjects as well. All this has been possible because Swamiji, as the head of the Mutt, established in the 15th century, is the committed and is most committed to carrying forward the tenets of a great spiritual legacy. This is also on account of Swamiji's background of being a graduate who has studied physics and mathematics. It shows how magnificent results could come out if spirituality and education work together. He thus brings to the field of education the necessary experiences to impart education in various disciplines. I am confident that those who pass out from Siddhaganga institutions will progress in life and become good citizens of India. Educating our youth is an important responsibility. Swamiji looks at education as a debt to be paid by the present generation to the future generation. It should be our effort to work towards ensuring that all young boys and girls of India receive the gift of education that prepares them to be productive human beings and imbibes in them a value system that will bring peace and harmony in the world and progress and prosperity to the mankind. They should from a young age be taught about compassion and a caring attitude towards each other and showing respect towards elders. A person's conduct with others often speaks about the upbringing and the value system. Much importance is attached to the way we deal with others. Basavanna has summoned this well in these words. Ayya endre swarga, yallevo endre naraka. The feeding of all pilgrims who come to this mat is a manifestation of our great tradition, which tells us that as you eat, see to it that others do not go hungry. The sharp rise in fruit prices last year has negatively impacted on the efforts to eradicate poverty. It is estimated that an additional 100 million people now face the prospect of starvation. This brings me to the important topic of food security in the country and globally. The world population is growing. In the 50 years between 1950 and 2000, it grew from 2.5 billion to 6 billion, and in the next 50 years it is expected to rise to 9 billion. Even our population is growing at the rate of 2.1% per year as per the latest census in 2001. As China has stabilized its population, it is expected that we will surpass the population of China in the near future. Therefore, we may need to look at our population policy. Also, to feed this population, we need to ensure that food availability is increased. That can only happen if food production and productivity are augmented. Productivity can be enhanced by making available to our farmers better seeds, necessary irrigation facilities, and marketing linkages. Scientists must constantly work with farmers to acquaint them with better agricultural practices, and at the same time, our research efforts in the field of agriculture must continue. We need to have another green revolution, which will be an evergreen revolution where agriculture production would be on a continuous upward curve. I am told that as a part of the centenary celebrations, an agricultural conference is also being organized here, where I hope some of these issues will be discussed. In rural areas, particularly those which are located in far-flung areas, health and education facilities are limited. It is important to create awareness among the people on various socio-economic issues. I have often called on civil society and NGOs to go to villages for social work and to have a regular and constant interaction with the local rural population. I would urge social workers to create awareness amongst the population living in rural areas, to extend them support in capacity building, and to guide them about the various government schemes designed for their welfare. I once again convey my good wishes to Sri Siddhaganga Mutt and respected Swamiji. Their work for the welfare of humanity and promotion of goodwill between people is commendable. And before I end, once again I pay my highest tribute to Swamiji at the completing 101 years. You see, sometimes it is said, it is not important how long you lived, it is important how you lived. But for Swamiji, it is important how he lived, and it is also important how long he lived. I really pay my respects and hope God to bless him with good health, good faculties, and still many more years to serve the humanity. I once again convey my good wishes to all of you also, and I end with a saying of Basavanna, where he has said that Ella jivakku daya torvade, dharma dayave dharmada mulabvaya. I hope the people of our country follow this message in their lives. Ellerugu Bhagavantan Ashirvada Erli. Dhanyavada. Jai Hind.